DaVinci Resolve Editor Keyboard, the wheel that finally makes editing feel right. You open a long timeline and the mouse is already wearing you down before the first cut lands. Every small trim means reaching, clicking, and hoping it worked. One editor described 4-hour sessions feeling like his wrists had quietly filed a formal complaint. That feeling is real. Does any part of your current editing setup actually feel effortless to you? The time adds up quietly and invisibly. Every extra click, every menu trip, every moment hunting the right shortcut on a generic keyboard is borrowed time you never recover. A freelance editor once tracked his sessions and realized he was losing nearly 40 minutes per project just on navigation alone. 40 minutes! That gap is real, and something was built specifically to close it.
This is where the Blackmagic design DaVinci Resolve Editor Keyboard enters the conversation, and it genuinely changes what editing feels like at a physical level. Do not just buy any editing keyboard. Make sure it has a dedicated jog and shuttle wheel so you never suffer from that slow, exhausting mouse-dependent scrubbing workflow again. The wheel is a machined metal dial with a built-in clutch that lets you scrub footage, trim frames, and navigate timelines with one smooth motion. No mouse required at all. One editor on a tight commercial deadline finished his rough cut nearly an hour ahead of schedule during his very first week using it. Another described the experience as finally feeling like the edit was physically in his hands rather than trapped behind a screen somewhere. The full QWERTY layout keeps your typing comfortable, while dedicated edit keys handle the heavy lifting on the opposite side. And here is something most people miss. This keyboard works surprisingly well for audio scrubbing inside Fairlight too, a capability most editors stumble onto weeks after buying it. Worth knowing before you decide. Once you understand what this keyboard does to a real editing session, the logic becomes hard to push away. The jog wheel replaces the scrubbing friction you have been managing with a mouse for years, and dedicated edit keys mean marking points, appending clips, and applying transitions happen in a fraction of the motion. That is not a minor improvement. A reviewer from Pro Video Coalition called it a worthwhile long-term investment after months of daily use, noting no other keyboard integrates with Resolve this deeply. A film editor working under broadcast deadlines said it was the first tool in years that kept creativity moving instead of interrupting it.
One Taman user described editing becoming more intuitive, faster, and noticeably more enjoyable almost immediately after the learning curve passed. After watching someone use this alongside a standard setup in a real session, the difference in hand movement alone is quietly striking. Here is something worth pausing on. Where in your editing session do you lose the most time? Is it trimming, navigating, or hunting clips? The Blackmagic design DaVinci Resolve Editor Keyboard specifically targets all 3 friction points simultaneously. Most editors who give it serious time find returning to a regular keyboard surprisingly uncomfortable afterward. That reaction shows up across reviews with real consistency.
If you spend real time editing inside DaVinci Resolve, this is one of those tools that quietly earns its place and then refuses to leave your desk. The Blackmagic design DaVinci Resolve Editor Keyboard is drawing steady attention from working editors, and availability does shift with demand. The link is in the description. Most bundles also include a full DaVinci Resolve Studio license, which genuinely changes the value calculation. Go take a look. Your current setup might feel harder to defend once you do.
For demo videos and current pricing, check the link in the description.